Hi everyone, bonjour à tous and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will explore 20 ideas and concepts which will help us save money thanks to sewing. This subject was requested by a kind follower and I was instantly inspired since I really believe that with the right mindset and attitude, sewing shouldn't necessarily be an expensive hobby. On the contrary, knowing how to sew is a skill that can help us be mindful with our money, but also with our time and resources, with energies and supplies, and with raw materials. I hope this video will inspire you and I warmly invite you to watch it until the end to discover a last suggestion that you might not have been thinking about and that is dear to my heart. Invest money. Sewing supplies have a cost, and this first advice might seem contradictory to the idea of savings that made you click, and rightly so, on this video. Yet I would suggest you start opening your wallet instead of closing it and invest in a good sewing machine, in a dress form of your size, and in the proper tools. As far as money is concerned, we must learn to invest in order to receive a return on investment. So stop at once every impulsive purchase in major stores whose names you know well, and you'll find that soon enough you'll have the money to buy yourself a much needed sewing machine which will reward you 100-fold, I promise. Invest time. Invest a little bit of your precious time in order to learn how to sew properly and precisely. For example, take the time to create your own basic blocks and to learn even sketchily how they can be manipulated and modified. It's not that hard and it's actually quite amusing. Then you'll be in a position to create every design you wish for in no time and very cost effectively, which is the purpose of this video. Give. Sort out your fabric stash and your supplies and give the excess away. You'll be given back a calm, clear and harmonious workspace as well as a peaceful and serene mind. Instead of having our drawers and cupboards drowning under the weight of incomplete projects, regrets and sleepy fabrics, we will wildly open the door to a renewed creativity that will save us time, stress and money. And icing on the cake, you will never ever buy again yet another canary yellow bobbin, since you'll know at once where you stored the first one in the first place. Voila! Since we have now invested in a good sewing machine, that we have made the decision to really learn how to sew, and that we have made enough room in our workspaces and in our minds, we are going to dive straight in the heart of the matter and make, I promise, really good and actual savings. Let's get started. Shop your fabric stash first and your own wardrobe. Redesign your old clothes, reshape them, update them with a few snips of your scissors and well-placed seams. It only requires a little elbow grease, but other than that, it's absolutely free and freeing. Also, remember to shop your own fabric stash. It seems like an obvious thing to say, yet I am convinced that you very well know why it needs to be reminded in this video. Recycle. Before eliminating an old piece of clothing that has stains or holes, keep the elements that can be reused. Elastics, buttons, zippers, strings, buckles, and so on. All of the above are real treasures when you are on the verge of becoming a real thrifty soul. Buy second-hand. Look out for garments and other textiles on flea markets, garage sales, second-hand shop, and so on. You can then refashion them or just reuse the fabric when it seems to be of great quality. For instance, the beautiful cotton of antique sheets, the gorgeous silk of an old evening gown, the soft wool of a large men's coat, etc. Keep an open mind. A solitary curtain without its significant other could be used as a muslin fabric. Keep your fabric scraps. They can be useful for small projects that does not require much material, or you'll be able to use them as filling for throw pillows, Christmas decorations, children's stuffed toys, and so on. Make your own gifts. Be it for Christmas, birthday parties, or whatever celebration you are invited to, the tradition of exchanging gifts can be really taxing for low-income earners. Do not let that trouble your mind, trouble the party, nor your financial sustainability. Make your own gifts instead. Trust me, you will save more than 1 penny. And on the matter, please refer again to the advice number 2 of this video. Invest a little bit of your time to learn how to sew properly. Do not gift a poorly made, sad looking and useless item. Make your own alterations. You are capable of it, and it's way faster than you imagine it to be. Learn how to hem a skirt or a pair of pants, how to attach back a button, how to change a broken zipper, and so on. In short, learn how to take care of your own belongings. Create your own household linen and interior decoration. This will make for perfect beginners projects and for limited budgets. Fitted sheets, duvet covers, pillows, quilted bed covers, bedding sets, towels, curtains, sofa covers, tablecloths, napkins, and so on. Nothing is easier to sew if you take the time to learn how, and I highly recommend you have a look at the videos on my channel to look for the corresponding dedicated tutorials. Be resourceful. Become queens and kings of ingenuity and try to DIY as much as possible. For instance, weddings. You can sew about everything that is required for such occasions. Bridesmaids' gowns, accessories, table decorations, guest gifts, flavor bags, menus, and so on. And of course, the indispensable wedding dress for the happy bride, which, by the way, can be made from a store-bought pattern if you don't feel like drafting or draping your own yet. Sew your own wardrobe. I can assure you it's not that difficult, and I cannot stress enough how important it is to own your own dress form to your size, which will make everything so much smoother, faster, and honestly, so much fun. How wonderful to be able to put on a freshly made summer dress just taken out of your mannequin and that fits to the T your morphology, your shape, and the shape of your wallet. Stop impulsive purchases. Does it ever happen to you, these love at first sight, totally irrational fabric purchases? I absolutely plead guilty. Here are a few questions that can help us have a little bit more self-control on the matter. Do I really need this fabric? Is it relevant to my personal style? Will I wear this fabric pattern? Have I time in the coming months to sew a garment or make a project using this very fabric? Which leads us to the following advice: don't buy in advance to stockpile. Accumulating, piling up, stocking, collecting, hoarding even, without taking the time to breathe, generates nothing but overloaded minds and spaces, piles of boxes full of pipe dreams, and a hopelessly empty wallet. In a word, less is more. Buy a single fabric at a time, even though it might be on the pricey side. Don't put it away and use it at once. But also remember, take the time to create a beautifully designed garment that reflects your style, that enhances your body shape, that is in line with your needs and desires of the time being, and above all, wear it proudly. Financially and ethically, this approach is much more profitable, and I believe that it really is the key to tranquility, luxury, and bliss. Buy progressively and only when needed. And I mean by that, buy when it is an actual need and not a dreamed need. This advice is blatantly redundant, of course, but rephrasing and repeating is the foundation of pedagogy, so let me rumble a little bit more on the matter if you please. You own now a sewing machine, a dress form, and some useful basic tools. Do not buy any other pricey supplies until the day you absolutely need them. Don't buy commercial patterns in advance. Trends change fast. Don't buy bobbins in advance. Thread degrades all the time. Also, make sure to check if you don't already own what you are about to buy or something equivalent. But at the end of the day, or should I say at the end of the week maybe, if the needs remain, you will know that it is time to invest. Calculate, calculate. How much fabric will I truly need? Take the time to draft your pattern or to cut it out before buying your fabric if you are working with a commercial design. This way you'll be able to calculate the necessary yardage for your project and to prevent unnecessary expenses. Get to know the fabric you are about to buy. When you are buying a new fabric in a fabric store, make sure to ask the seller about its maintenance and its potential shrinkage percentage when you wash it, and especially when it dries. These informations are not always easy to obtain, and when your project requires a great deal of fabric, you might want to know what you are buying indeed, so as to avoid unpleasant surprises and therefore financial losses. Don't hesitate to get hold of a sample of your needed fabric, to make a few tests beforehand, and after only to buy the necessary yardage accordingly. Be curious and self-sufficient. Look around how things are made, study garments in your favorite stores and in your own wardrobe. This advice will allow you to improve your sewing skills, but it will also allow you to learn how to learn by yourself for greater financial independence. And I cannot help but recommend you have a look at basic block patterns tutorials. They are the key to learning. I have a dedicated series on the subject in my channel if you feel like investing in yourself. Know yourself better. You will avoid many useless expenses, time-wise and financial-wise. What are the fabrics that I actually wear? What are the shapes and designs that work for my figure? What are my clothing needs in my everyday life? Is this project useful for me? Or does it bring me joy? Or does it make me improve in some ways? Take the time to recenter yourself, to refocus, and to identify the purpose and the meaning. And now, before you discover my favorite advice, here is a short and non-comprehensive list of ideas that I give you a little bit as it comes and that you will complete, I hope, in the comments section. Look at the prices per meter. Serger's bobbins are less expensive and you can use them with your sewing machine. Think about sales, end of series and clearance racks in your favorite fabric store. But once again, be very mindful about what you truly need and don't buy too much in advance. If you have the time and feel inclined to do it, of course, you might consider opening a little online store like Etsy, for instance, so as to sell your creations. Learn to barter for services. Offer your sewing skills against hours of housekeeping, ironing, gardening, babysitting, and why not against a little bit of cooking. Buy fabrics that are easily cleaned and maintained, and stay away from fabrics that require expensive dry cleaning, except of course for special garments such as formal wear. If you have a very easy pattern to draft with little markings or annotations, use newspapers or recycle the highly annoying ads that pile up in your mailbox. If you are missing some lining and before purchasing some, look at what you have in your own stash. You might consider using instead a thin and soft fabric whose nature, color, thickness and other qualities may work with the main shell of your garment. If friends or family members are decluttering their wardrobe and invite you to have a look at what they are getting rid of, don't hesitate to keep the pieces whose material inspires you and whose design you feel could be improved. Change of seasons, change of lengths. Summer is upon us, and instead of buying a whole new wardrobe for your children, just shorten what needs to be. Cut the sleeves and transform the trousers into shorts. A few well-placed hems equal a few saved coins. Do you feel like a new handbag? The last one is all worn out? Strip it from its fasteners, buckles, handles, chains and other hooks, and like the phoenix rising from its ashes, you will have what you need to produce your new baby. And at last, as promised, voila my favorite advice. Encourage and initiate passions. If you are a parent, you know well how painful our teenagers' vital clothing needs can be for our finances. Above all, do not have them watch one of my tutorials. They would die of complete boredom, or at least pretend to. But I do trust you to find a small window that opens upon their seemingly unconcerned souls in order to initiate at an early age the concept of great ingenuity that consists in making a lot with very little. To take the example of my own youth, I wasn't given the means to buy a pair of Nike, nor a jacket with a little crocodile thing on the front, but I was allowed and encouraged even to buy inexpensive bundles of second-hand clothes in charity shops instead. I would then try, using my 10 fingers, to transform these beloved and yet abandoned garments into a bright and shiny new wardrobe. Now thinking about it, I didn't believe that I thanked my own mother enough for having casually placed a beautiful sewing machine under my nose as if it was nothing. Voila! Dear friends, this is the end of this video and I truly hope it has brought you a few new ideas for saving a little bit more of your hard-earned money thanks to your sewing skills. Bye bye! À bientôt!